Okay, changes in the global business environment. This is looking at the change of technology. So we're all going to understand the impacts of technological changes in the business environment, how New Zealand businesses may adapt, and hopefully understand what disruptive technology is and how this has led to innovation in business practices. So technology, we're living through an age where technology is increasingly changing and advancing, and it's one of those things which has made globalization achievable, and the whole idea of access to the global market much more easier, and from what were the traditional barriers of entry, these have now been minimized to an extent by the utilization of technology. So largely the big things have obviously distances have decreased, okay, with communications, we've got it 24/7, and because of that, supply chains much more manageable. So if you want to supply something from Africa to Australia, getting that product from A to B is a lot more easier through the advance of real-time communications. From a consumer's point of view, we can access our goods and services now from the comfort of our home through a click of a mouse, which has made consumption patterns, which we're going to go on to look at later, a lot more, a lot easier to manage and to utilise from both the consumers and the producers' point of view. Niche markets. If you are in a position whereby you have created some unique product, it's very easy to get it onto the global marketplace, and through that you can very easily become the market leader. So what was traditionally a stepping stone process of maybe a local economy to a national economy to an international economy, all of a sudden now you can obtain those benefits by directly going into global markets, and through that obtain the advantages of economies of scale immediately. Obviously not many businesses want to make that jump straight away because you need to learn how to manage the growth. However, that is the opportunity out there, and the fastest businesses to adapt to that global perspective arguably maybe the more competitive. The big thing from technological advances really has become the development of a new industry of data. So the collection of all this data from digital sources now allows access to understanding trends a lot quicker, being able to spot trends, being able to adapt to trends, even to be able to predict them, and who knows, even to be able to set them. So this development of a new industry, effectively, has largely come from the advance in technology of the analysis of digital methods of doing business. So all in all, because of these advantages, we've now got a much more evolved and developed global marketplace, and therefore it's much more common for producers and consumers to be making global transactions rather than just your local transactions or your national ones. Now to be buying things from other countries is much more common. Likewise, to be selling things from other countries, much more common. So this PowerPoint is obviously taken from a lesson where we did, and there's a mix and match activity. Largely we were looking at the advantages and disadvantages, so I'll just quickly talk you through a few of these. First and foremost, the key advantage is it does aid innovation, okay, and arguably competitiveness. And through this, the advancement is always seeking to innovate further. So it's as if it's acted as a real catalyst to innovation. I mean, it is just one strand of many ways in which you can innovate your business processes and products. However, it's a very definitive one as we speak at the minute. The counter argument to this, however, is that because we've got this increase in competition and increase in innovation, it does imply that many firms may struggle to keep up with this rapid rate of competition. Excuse me. And because of this rapid rate of competition, you can say that there will be a lot of organisations falling by the wayside. And so the counter argument could be, from it being a competitive, innovative, developing competitive and innovative strategies, the flip side could be there's only those dominant organisations that are going to be able to prevail in this one. The smaller ones are going to be falling by the wayside because they've got to compete on a global marketplace. For that reason, it may be anti-competitive. Interestingly, if you did do an analysis of all the brands and products that are available around the world, the pattern does tend to be that these brands, these products, these logos, whatever they are owned by maybe a dozen, 20 big global organisations. So that does stand to reason a wee bit. And there's a further advantage is that largely the whole progress of technology does reduce costs, it lowers the cost of production, it increases advantages such as economies of scale. And largely because of this, it's taking place of one of the key resources, which is labour, which is always very costly. So that's obviously a real plus point, and why a lot of companies want to get involved in this. Added to that, you can also say that the downside to this is obviously you do have a loss of existing jobs. The counter argument back again could be that because of this innovation and development, it develops new jobs as well. And I think overall the overarching the lesson that we all take from this is that it's not so much that we get trained for specific jobs these days in our careers, but it's more about being able to take on skills which are adaptable to a number of different situations, and this is a good example. I think overall, the predominant negative aspect of technology is that because someone has created it, someone can destroy it. So the whole idea we're seeing at the minute with hackers and the whole idea of intellectual property, all of these things can be taken very quickly because we have such open access to these things because of technology. So when we look at this technological process, it has a lot of distinct advantages and disadvantages, and that is something that we need to be aware of in terms of any questions that we're asked from an analytical point of view. So a disruptive technology, what this tends to refer to is a technology which has been utilised in a way which has totally disrupted the previous way that an industry was perceived to be operating. So, for example, Uber has totally changed the way that the taxi service has operated. It's now turned consumers potentially into the producers, and vice versa. And the whole idea of pricing has completely changed. Airbnb totally taken away the whole idea of hoteliers writing reviews and us relying on those reviews. We are now the people who write the reviews, and because of that, it's changed the way that the industry operates. Netflix is another one in terms of streaming movies to your home, or the local DVD shop coming and hiring things. Totally changed these things. And largely, what these disruptive technologies have illustrated is what we refer to as the democratization of some of these industries, i.e., it is now that us as the consumers, we are much more empowered to be able to act as the producers ourselves. So as Uber, we can become the drivers. Airbnb, we can become the reviewers. We can also become the hoteliers. Netflix, we can choose when we wish to watch what we wish to watch.